The third craving we talk about is the craving for meaning. This is more about the meaning of our existence, the search for truth.
God created you to search for meaning. He created you with a craving to make sense of life. And a part of the way you can begin to experience, understand this craving is the insatiable curiosity inside of you, the need to connect to truth, the desperate desire to find something or someone that can be trusted, the dysfunction of making meaningless things meaningful, and the tragedy of making meaningful things meaningless. See, you will be trying to make sense of life till the day you die. And if you don't connect the dots to the one who gives life meaning, you will be taking your last breath in fear. Because the dark side of meaning is a life filled with doubt, and a life filled with fear, and a life that's filled with anger and cynicism and despair. If you don't connect to the God who gives meaning to life, all of your effort, all of your energy, all of your life work, everything will in the end be meaningless, not in the sight of others or in the sight of God. It'll be meaningless to your soul, and it will leave you there craving desperately to find the meaning of your existence.
Partway through this last video, Erwin makes the comment that the dark side of meaning is a life filled with doubt, despair, and cynicism. What do you think about that? Has this been true for you at times? Do you think it can be true for others? Why does it matter to us so much what life is all about? Perhaps it really is true. This is God causing us to look for answers, and in the process we will find Him. On page 36 we read, "Every world religion, every philosophy, every belief system, from anthropology to astrology, to sociology, to psychology, to mythology, to science itself, is trying to impose a cohesive view of reality. They're all trying to make sense of life. We're all trying to figure out who we are, why we're here, and what this whole thing is about." So, what is it that drives us to search for answers? Why do we care what we or others believe about the meaning of life? Maybe the craving for meaning is actually placed in our souls by God. The craving for meaning can only be satisfied when we finally understand who Jesus really is.
Have you ever felt that life is just a rip-off? And that's when you begin losing your sense of meaning, that life doesn't make sense. And that's where we don't even realize it, but we begin to lose our confidence in God because what's happening in history doesn't make sense. And your life will not make sense to you if you become the epicenter of all your understanding. See, if you try to understand why evil is roaming free across the earth and why people get away with the worst of things, life won't make any sense to you. And if you try to make sense of life based on your own personal experience in this moment, then your meaning in life is going to be based on your emotions. In some moments you feel great about life, in some moments you feel terrible about life. When we focus our eyes on Jesus, we find the strength to persevere even when life doesn't make sense. But when we live in relationship to God Himself, God opens the eyes of our hearts and we are enlightened with hope, because we never come to a place where we see the problem as permanent. We know that no matter what obstacle, what challenge, what difficulty, what moment of suffering or disappointment, or whatever weeping or sorrow may be there, that we see through that darkness and know that even when life doesn't make sense, we are connected to the one who makes sense of life.
On page 40, we read this quote, "When our souls drive us to search for truth, we are actually longing for God." Maybe it is this craving for meaning that really resonates with your soul. Take some time to talk about this in your group, or to just think it through. How does Jesus really satisfy your craving for meaning in life? How could you share that thought with someone else? Use some of the questions on the handout to help guide your thoughts or discussion. If you're in a group setting, then take a few minutes to share those thoughts amongst the others.